Imagine being trapped in a fire, with flames engulfing your body and smoke choking your lungs. Your vision blurs, your mind races, and your life flashes before your eyes. This was Niki Lauda's reality on that fateful day at the German Grand Prix. The sound of screeching tires, the smell of burning rubber, and the sight of flames licking at his helmet was like a scene straight out from a horror movie. Yet in the midst of this chaos, Lauda's determination and will to survive would ignite a comeback story that would inspire many. From the ashes of that fateful day, a legend was reborn. So join us as we dive into the heart-stopping story of Niki Lauda's 55 seconds of death, exploring the events that led to this fateful moment and the lasting impact it had on Lauda, Formula One, and fans around the world. Before the fateful events of 1976, Niki Lauda was already a rising star in the world of Formula One, known for his calculated approach to racing and an unwavering determination to succeed. Born into a wealthy Austrian family, Lauda seemed destined for a life of privilege, but his passion for motorsports would lead him down a very different path. From an early age, Lauda displayed a natural talent for driving, and by the time he reached his early 20s, he had already made a name for himself on the European racing circuit. In 1974, he was offered a seat with the Ferrari team, and from there, his star only continued to rise. With his analytical mind and systematic approach, Lauda quickly earned the nickname "the Computer," bringing a new level of precision and strategy to the sport. As the victories began to pile up, Lauda's influence on the world of Formula One grew, inspiring a new generation of drivers with his unique blend of intelligence, skill, and grit. Despite his success, he remained grounded and focused, never letting the trappings of fame overshadow his love for the sport. In 1975, Lauda's hard work and dedication paid off when he claimed his first world championship title, cementing his place among the all-time greats of Formula One. But little did he know that just 1 year later, he would face the greatest challenge of his life, both on and off the track. One of the most captivating aspects of Niki Lauda's Formula One journey is his storied rivalry with fellow driver James Hunt. The contrast between the two drivers was striking. Lauda, with his strategic approach and analytical mindset, was a stark contrast to Hunt, whose daredevil driving style and charismatic personality earned him the nickname Hunt the Shunt. Their vastly different approaches to racing captivated fans and fueled the fire of their rivalry. While they were fierce competitors on the track and off the track, they shared a strong bond of friendship and mutual respect. However, it was during the 1976 Formula One season that their rivalry would reach its peak. By the 10th round of the season, Niki Lauda was already ahead of James Hunt with an impressive 61 points. Hunt, who was in 4th place, only managed to earn 16 points. Lauda's success wasn't just a matter of raw talent. His methodical approach and careful preparation set him apart from his competitors, earning him a reputation for bluntness and determination. Off the track, Lauda was a vocal advocate for better safety standards in Formula One, using his platform to call for improved crash barriers, stronger helmets, and more robust safety protocols. His crusade for safety didn't always make him everyone's favorite, but he refused to back down, driven by a fierce determination to protect the lives of his fellow drivers. One of Lauda's top concerns was the Nurburgring circuit, which posed a unique and dangerous challenge. Its winding track through the densely forested Eifel Mountains had already claimed 5 lives, making it a source of concern for drivers like Lauda. Before the race, Lauda voiced his thoughts and concerns at a Grand Prix Drivers Association meeting, advocating for a boycott due to inadequate safety measures and equipment, such as fire engines and safety crews. Despite his persuasive argument, the other drivers outvoted him, and the race was set to go ahead. After everything, Lauda knew he had to race and continue to pursue his 2nd consecutive championship. As the race commenced, the atmosphere was tense. Niki Lauda found himself starting the race in 2nd place. A light rain shower had convinced him to begin the race with rain tires, a decision he would soon regret. Realizing his mistake, Lauda rushed to the pits after the first lap, frantically changing to slick tires in an attempt to regain lost ground. However, fate had other plans. As Lauda pushed to warm up his new tires, he lost control at Bergwerk Corner on the second lap. In a matter of moments, his Ferrari was transformed into a blazing death trap, the car engulfed in flames as it careened across the track. The impact sheared off one side of the car, releasing a full load of fuel that intensified the inferno. The horror of the situation was not lost on Lauda's fellow drivers, who knew that every passing second could mean the difference between life and death. Harold Ertl, a driver with a fire extinguisher, attempted to douse the cockpit, while Brett Lunger, a seasoned Vietnam War veteran, was also present to help save Lauda. Time seemed to slow to a crawl for the drivers, crews, and spectators alike, but for Lauda, trapped within the burning wreckage felt like 55 seconds of death. Progress was agonizingly slow until Arturo Merzario, a former Ferrari driver familiar with the seatbelt mechanisms, bravely entered the intense heat. With Lauda straining against the belts in agony, Merzario managed to release the buckle of his 6-point harness. As Lauda fell unconscious, it made things easy for Merzario to pull him out of the inferno. However, Lauda's battle was far from over. Suffering from severe injuries to his head and hands, as well as a broken collarbone, Lauda was swiftly airlifted to the hospital. His condition deteriorated rapidly, and many feared the worst. A priest was even called to administer the last rites. Yet against all odds, Niki Lauda would survive, but the road to recovery would be long and painful. Lauda's injuries were severe, leaving him without his eyelids, his right ear, and a burned scalp that would require him to wear a hat in public for the rest of his life. Despite the physical and emotional trauma he endured, Lauda's spirit remained unbroken, his determination unwavering. About a month after the accident, Lauda made a bold statement by appearing at the Fiorano test track near Bologna to demonstrate his readiness to Ferrari's team management, including Ferrari owner Enzo Ferrari. However, Ferrari had already enlisted a replacement driver within a day of Lauda's accident, a decision that deeply offended Lauda, who was still the reigning world champion. As Lauda arrived, pale and scarred, with his hair lost and an inability to close his eyes, many mistook him for a ghost. Yet, his presence showed his unyielding resolve, a resolve that would carry him back to the track to win more championships. It had only been just 33 days since his near-fatal accident, but he was returning to racing, determined not only to compete, but to defend his world title. With painful burns still bandaged beneath his racing suit, Lauda finished fourth at the race in Monza. He had not only outraced death, but also defied all expectations. As the Formula One season reached its grand finale in Tokyo, the stage was set for a dramatic showdown between Niki Lauda and James Hunt. Despite Lauda's incredible comeback and determination, the severe injuries he had sustained continued to haunt him. With relentless pain and impaired vision due to the damage inflicted on his tear ducts, Lauda was forced to make the difficult decision to retire from the race. This unexpected turn of events opened the door for fierce rival James Hunt, who seized the opportunity and claimed the championship title. But despite Hunt's triumph, the spotlight remained fixed on Lauda, the man who had not only returned from the brink of death, but had continued to fight until the very end. In the following years, Lauda's tenacity and passion for the sport would see him rise to the top once more. In 1977, he reclaimed his status as world champion, proving that even the most devastating setbacks could not dim his spirit. Then, in 1985, Lauda secured his third world title, edging out his McLaren teammate Alain Prost by a mere half-point. That same year, Lauda also retired. However, he left behind a legacy that would forever be intertwined with the very essence of Formula One. The shadow of those 55 seconds in hell would follow Lauda throughout his life, a constant reminder of the day he cheated death. Tragically, the consequences of the toxic fumes he had inhaled during the crash ultimately contributed to his passing on May 20th, 2019, just months after receiving a lung transplant. While the tale of Niki Lauda's 55 seconds of death may be one of heartbreak, his story is also one of resilience, determination, and the will to overcome even the most insurmountable odds. Through his triumph, Lauda has inspired generations of drivers and fans alike to always persevere and never give up, even in the face of adversity.